But I definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, sharing. And until I see you tomorrow evening, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening. I hope that your evening will be amazing. I hope that your tomorrow and tomorrow's will be more amazing than you ever expected. Don't allow anybody to steal your joy. No more. Be encouraged. Even when you fall, it's okay. Just dust yourself or get back up.
Hey, YouTube. This is Tracy, just living my life. Came on today to see if I can get anyone to come in my live. Just wanted to talk about how I'm not mad at God anymore. I'm not mad. Many of you who know me, who followed me, who've been following me, you know that I was very angry at God for taking my childhood best friend in October and taking my best friend of over 30 years on Valentine's Day. I miss them. I miss them both very dearly. And I was in a very, very dark depression. And I let the devil get between me and God. I did. I let him allow me to be angry with God for a very too long of a period of time. We should never, never let the devil interfere in our lives like that. I started watching YouTube and got some friends on YouTube, and then I started to come alive a little bit and realize, I do have blessings in my life. People on YouTube that I talk to, a lot of them have medical issues just like I do. And we kind of bonded. We kind of call ourselves a little band of misfits. I enjoy our time. I enjoy my time with our band of misfits. I enjoy our time at the Crawley kitchen table. I enjoy my time at Porch Church Network. Porch Church Network and Casey Crawley, the Reverend at Porch Church Network, he moved me enough in the Spirit of God to know that I needed to reclaim my personal religion, which is Catholicism, and that doesn't have to be what your religion is. It doesn't have to be what anybody's religion is. It's just what I practice. And 3 weeks ago now, 3 weeks, only 3 weeks ago, people, since February and the funeral, I finally went back to Mass. And I'm the type of person who went to Mass every single week. Every week I went to Mass. But I was mad. I was angry. I could not believe. I thought, God, how can you take my friends from this world? How do you need them more than I need them? I need them. I need my best friends. But I realize that God didn't take my best friends. He took the best friends I had here on earth that I considered my best friends, and he took them on to heaven. And they're living where they should be. They're in God's glory, and they deserve to be in God's glory, especially Barb, my best friend Barb, who had the biggest heart of anybody you could ever imagine, and who died on Valentine's Day, how appropriately, very suddenly. But she deserves to be in God's glory and to rest in heaven. She took care of a lot of people on earth. She put everybody before herself, always, her whole life. She always put people ahead of herself. And now she is able to bask in the glory of her Lord and Savior. And I am finally coming to grips with that, and I'm finally happy that she's able to do that. Now, when I stop and think, God, you took away all my friends. No, no, Tracy, he did not. God blessed you with the most amazing husband on planet Earth. Right Sickes is my rock. He has been my rock for a long time, longer than he wasn't my rock. He is my husband. He is my best friend. He is my lover, and he is my everything. Together, we raised 2 boys, and they have been the absolute joys of my life, my 2 boys. And now my boys have given me 3 grandsons who are even a bigger joy in my life. So why was I so mad? Why was I so sad and angry? I don't know. I just felt that I was alone and I felt very lonely. And now I am awakened to the love of my Lord and Savior, that he hasn't abandoned me. He didn't take all my friends away. He just wanted me to open my eyes and to find some new friends who maybe were going through some of the same things that I'm going through, who live life with a autoimmune disorder, a chronic pain disorder. They're all the same. They're kind of invisible, a lot of them. They don't People can't see when they look at me, they can't see, oh, that girl's in pain. Now, my husband, Wright, who knows me better than anybody in the entire universe, he can look at me and say, you're really hurting tonight, aren't you? He knows. But he knows me that way. He knows me in every way. And other than that, I've met some amazing friends on YouTube who I love dearly, even though I haven't known them that long. I started really watching some of these YouTube channels late February after I came out of the deepest funk, when I really thought about giving up. That was the devil talking when I thought about giving up. I had people who care about me. I can't do that to them. So I started watching some YouTube and I got a couple laughs, and I thought, wow, there are people out there who are a lot like me, and they have a lot to give as friends, and I have so much to give. I felt so empty because I wasn't giving my friendship to other people, to new people. That's what I needed to do. I needed to sit my hiney in the church pew every Sunday morning. I needed to pray with the Porch Church Network every day that they have Porch Church Network on YouTube. And I needed to re-find Tracy. Not Barb's best friend, not Cassie's friend, but Tracy. Tracy Sickes, living my life. That's what I am. Tracy, living my life. I may wake up every day, I may have pain every day, but I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to live it for the Lord Jesus Christ. He saved my soul, and he saved my life by giving his only son to die on the cross for me, a sinner. I've not always been the best person in the world. I've not always been the best friend in the world. But through everything that I have seen in the past year, I know that I am going to strive every single day to be better and better and do more in the name of the Lord than I have ever done in my life. Everything I do, I'm going to try to do because Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit are urging me to do it. I think I think many of us need to do that. I think, you know, we have life gets life gets you down. Life gets too much sometimes. Back in my working days when I was working crazy amounts of hours to try to build this amazing career, which I did have a great career, but it took me away from my family, the people who loved me the most. I missed my boys growing up years, the years that I can't get back. And was that worth it? For what? For them to give up on me because I developed a chronic disease. So they gave up on me. And they said, "We can't have you here anymore because you go to the doctor too much. You try to take care of yourself health wise." When I was still working, I had mono. I had chronic mononucleosis. Mononucleosis. Chronic mono. Because I had it 4 times in 1 year because I refused to miss that much work. I felt like I was so important at work that they needed me at work that I couldn't take that time away from work. I had to go to work. And so, against the doctor's advice, I went to work. When I got tired, I would take my lunch. I would put a little pillow under my desk, shut my light off, shut my door, and take a little nap. That's what I did so that I could continue to work. Work for the big man, work for the corporation because my career was important. But you know what? My career wasn't important. My family and my God were important. And that's where my focus should have been. And I have to take care of me health wise in order to be the best me for God and for my family. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, the rest of my life, I will try my best to do everything I can to take the best care of my physical health and my mental health. Hi, Darlene Buckland. How are you doing this evening? Just talking about why I'm not mad at God anymore, and I'm really working hard to live my life every day for God and for my family. And I have to take care of me physically, mentally, in order to be the best Christian woman I can be, to be the best wife I can be, to be the best mother and grandmother I can be. So that's why I've changed my channel. If you noticed, I've changed my channel to be Tracy Sickus Living My Life because that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to live my life just like everybody else. I'm just trying to go forward one step at a time, and sometimes it's baby steps. And especially on these old sore legs, some days it's really tiny baby steps. But I'm moving forward, and I'm trying to move forward every single day. How are you doing this evening, Darlene? Are you having a good evening? That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're having a good evening. I finally feel like I've gotten my meds straightened around so that I'm getting a decent night's sleep, and it makes my days and nights much easier, even though every day I still have pain. That's one of the things that I was talking about earlier before you came on, that every day I have pain, and it's hard because people look at me and they think, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a 55-year-old woman, perfectly normal. You look perfectly normal to me, other than you're walking with a cane. But they don't see that I walk with a cane not because my leg is bad as much as it's hurting me so much that if I didn't have the cane, I wouldn't be able to walk properly because the pain is so intense at times. It overwhelms me. That's exactly it. They don't know. And that's what I'm trying to get, the message that I want to get out there, that there's a lot of diseases, not just the disease that I have, but fibromyalgia, like Darlene Crawley has, ankylosing spondylitis, like Ashley has in life with it. Ankylosing spondylitis, like diabetes. People don't know. They can't see when they look at you that you have diabetes, but that's some kind of a disease that you have to treat every day. People have Crohn's disease and have stomach issues every single day. But the outside world, they don't see that. And they don't understand, if they're not living in that body, they don't know what that person is going through. And sometimes that's really hard for people to understand, that it's real. It's real. You can't measure pain. You can't do a test and say, wow, girl, your pain is bad. You know, they can't do a test to say that. They have to go by how I feel. Other things, they check, of course, your vital signs and all that stuff can tell them some, but they don't know exactly. That's a mystery, that pain inside, things that go on inside of your body that cause you pain and distress, are hard for doctors to measure, because they can't just do a test and get an answer. So they don't know. You know, I park in a handicapped parking spot, not me personally, but when I'm in the car, excuse me a second. When I'm in a car, my husband parks in handicap so that I can be closer to the door, because I need to use those little go-karts, because walking around a store is great stress on my body and my legs. And if I walked through a big supermarket today, for 2 or 3 days after, I'm going to be miserable in pain. And people don't know that. The people that cut me off in the cart, that are rude to me with the cart, that are complain that, man, she's just lazy using that cart. They don't see the pain I have. They don't know that I'll be in bed for 2 days if I walked this whole store. They don't understand how lucky they are that they're able to still walk without pain. It's a frustrating thing, but I'm just glad that I'm starting to put this all behind me. The pain I can't put behind me, but the anger at God I can put behind me. And I know and I trust that my Lord is directing me in the path that He wants me to go. He wants me to share how invisible diseases can hurt a lot of people, and cruel people in the world can't see what somebody else is suffering. Just like the saying, you know, you don't know what somebody's going through unless you walk a mile in their shoes. You know, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different things going on in their lives, and I have stuff going on in my life, but I don't necessarily want to trade my pain for somebody else's pain. Well, hello, Adam. Good evening. We're talking about how Tracy's finally given up being mad at God, and she's going to go forward and fight the fight, live my life, and I'm trying to live the life that God wants me to live, and spread the word that a lot of us, many, many, many people in this country, in this world, have medical issues that are going on inside of ourselves, that people in the outside world that we pass on the street can't see. They don't know. They don't know what we're feeling. They don't know how bad we're suffering. I have some days that I um I have some days that I'm feeling a 5 out of 10. And I think, whoo, that's a pretty good day. And for me, that is a pretty good day. But there are days that I am like 8, 9. I never say 10. I don't ever want to know what's the worst pain imaginable. I don't want to know what that is. So if I have an 8 or a 9, sometimes I have to withdraw a little bit because I get testy and I get frustrated, and it's not good for other people to have to be around me because I get so ying, 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 bite people's head off. The people who care about me the most, that's who I tend to hurt when I'm hurting the most and upset. Um, it's hard, Adam. It is hard. You have to find some strength inside of you, and my strength just happens to be God. God is telling me that it's time to move forward in my life, spread the word that there are people in pain and that there are people who are ill and they can't show their illness because it's inside of them. And it's hard to get other people to understand what we go through. Well, you did eat some chocolate. That's a good thing. I didn't get any chocolate today. I probably would have done some naughty things to get some chocolate today. But I'm glad that you got the foot doctor appointment out of the way. I hope that that was gave you some answers. So you did get there, and that's a plus. You have to listen, unfortunately, to what the doctors say. And you know what I found, Adam? This is the thing that I found, because I do want to say that in reality, I went to 11 different doctors before I got the diagnosis of RSD. And 10 doctors said, yes, there's something wrong with you, but I don't know what it is. So therefore, it can't be that bad because I can't put my finger on it. I can't do a test and see it. So 10 doctors said that to me. And then the 11th doctor I went to said, you have RSD or CRPS, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or complex regional pain syndrome, and I can help you with this. There's no cure. We're never going to cure it. You're going to have it the rest of your life, which was a very difficult thing, and I grieved that at that moment. But it was a relief to know somebody understood what I was really feeling, and that gave me hope that they could really help me. And I still see that same pain doctor today, actually. He does give me hope every time I see him that, sometimes we have to change things up. Sometimes we have to go back to things that worked 2 years ago that stopped working, that all of a sudden will work again for me. But, yeah, right. My husband, right, has that same thing, Adam. And I do understand, for 30 years that we have been married, he has had athlete's foot. He has battled it. He has treated it. He has taken medication for it. He has done the sprays and the creams and the pills and he still seems to get it back. And part of it for him now is that he goes to work, and he works on his feet all day, and he works in a big warehouse, and especially in the summertime, his feet get sweaty, and they're in those leather shoes all day, and that does not help with athlete's foot. As you know, when your feet are wet and sweaty and damp, that's what causes it to grow. Maybe cinnamon clove. I would give the cinnamon clove soap a try, Adam. I mean, it can't hurt at this point, especially if you've tried everything. And I do believe that you have tried a lot of things. The antifungal creams, skin softener. You have to still wash your feet at some point, so try that cinnamon clove soap in the washing in between, and then apply the skin softener and the antifungal cream. But you have to you have to do that every single time. You have to wash your feet and do that cream and stuff every single day, probably more than one time a day. and it's time consuming, and it's easy for a man to just put it off because, and I don't want to stereotype men. That's not really very fair, but I know my husband. He'll do it for a while and things will start feeling better, and then it starts to get a little bit better, and then he slacks off a little bit and it comes right back, so it's not completely gone. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have a shower chair that when my pain is extremely bad, I have to use in the shower because I can't stand long enough to take a shower. But for 80% of the time, I keep it outside of my shower so that when I get out of the shower, I lay my towel on the shower chair. And that's when I do all my lotion and all the stuff that old ladies have to do to keep our skin soft and manageable. And that's kind of what you need to do. You need to make sure that it's in your bathroom. You get out of the shower, you get yourself a little stool or something in there, and you sit down, dry your feet. If you have to, take a hair dryer on low, cool setting. Make sure your feet are good and dry, and then put that stuff on because it doesn't always help if you're putting it on damp feet from just getting out of the shower. You got to get your feet dry first. Um, Rank didn't have, of course, a hair dryer when I married him, but I did. So I got him to use that once in a while. That worked for a while when he would make sure that his feet were good and dry. But man, that summertime heat is coming, and it's if you don't get a grip on that now, Adam, it's just going to get worse. So I pray for you that you can be diligent and keep that going and get that to feel a little bit better. Because man, I can't imagine. I see my husband suffer with that, and what I deal with is pain, but it's pain, and it's just always there and annoying. And he just has like moments where it's just drives him absolutely bonkers, and then other moments it doesn't seem to bother him at all. Where my pain is always there. Some days it's worse than others, but it's always there. Right. Vegas. I went to Vegas when I still had good legs. That was the last time I've been to Vegas. My husband would love to go to Vegas someday, and the one thing that probably holds me back is knowing that I have to take my wheelchair if I go to Vegas. I'm going to have to fly my wheelchair out there and use my wheelchair, and I just hate doing that. I could rent a scooter. I don't do too bad on those scooters. I used to be terrible, but now that I've used them all the time at the store, I've gotten better. Have gotten better. But yeah, you do want to try to get a little bit of grip on that before you head to Vegas, or you could be miserable on your feet for sure. For sure. And you want to enjoy eBay Open. It sounds, I mean, went back and watched some of your video from eBay Open from before when you were able to go live from there, and you Rally Roots came through your video, and yeah, you look like you really had a good time and you were enjoying yourself, and I hope that you are able to really enjoy yourself again this year. So you got to get a grip on that. Make sure you keep diligent on that stuff right up until and through when you're there, because that Vegas heat is dry heat, but your feet are gonna sweat. Maybe you can wear, I don't know what the dress code is, if there's a dress code at eBay Open, but maybe you could wear, sandals part of the time just to give your feet some air and let them dry. Yeah. You hung out with Rockstar Flipper, and then he was on your channel, and he was pretty awesome when he was on your channel on your interview. That was pretty sweet. Steve Rakin. I'm not sure I know who Steve Rakin is. Is he big in eBay? I may have to check his channel out. Does he have a channel on YouTube? All right, Rake and Profit. I'm gonna have to check that out. Rake and Profit. That's kind of a cute little name. I like that. I kind of like watching Rally Roots once in a while, just because. And I know that this is gonna sound silly if anybody's young watching us, but you know, they seem like such young kids compared to us, but they are so successful and they seem so real. Like they don't care what people think of the way they dress. They're just the way they are. And yeah, they seem knowledgeable. They seem like they want to share the knowledge when they do a mentorship program. I'm pretty proud of them for being at the ages that they are and knowing that it's valuable for them to do a mentorship program to help other people who look up to them learn to do what they're doing and do it correctly and without making some of the mistakes that they probably made along the way. Yeah, I like Callie. She seems silly. She seems really silly, but she seems nice. She's always so making such funny voices and stuff on their videos cracks me up. They have Adam's brother, not Adam's brother, but Ryan's brother doesn't seem too bad either. I can't think of his name, but when they go out sourcing and he goes along, he seems pretty knowledgeable for, you know, they all seem so young, but they really do know a lot about a lot of different things, and that's pretty impressive to me. He's usually in like their garage sale, flea market type videos. But he yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That's we know I like to watch, and you know, those of you guys that are my friends, I will watch your videos and I will watch them at great length. I just finished watching Joy's Hello World from today that I missed, and I watched the whole thing because I enjoy Joy and I feel like I know her personally. So like if I miss your live on Wednesday, I will sit down and watch the whole thing. But when I see somebody else that I'm not that familiar with and all their videos are like 2 hours, 3 hours, I just don't know if I want to invest 2 or 3 hours into finding out if I really enjoy their content. Does that make sense? You know, it's just hard. That's why I try to keep my informational type videos short and sweet and to the point, because if somebody pops on my channel and wants to watch a video, there's definitely some that are 5 minutes and under that they can get a feel for what I'm about a little bit and what kind of content I'd like to provide, and they don't have to invest 2 hours of their lives to find out if the content I have is worth watching. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem though. When I do that, especially in the evening when I play videos with my eyes closed and listen in the evening, especially after the, evening pill, yeah, then I don't always last very long and I fall asleep. I fall asleep before the video is over. Then I wake up and I go, "Oh, did I like that video?" So it's always hard to say, but it's kind of fun. I do try to watch a variety of different things, especially since I'm not a reseller. I do love to watch all of the reselling videos. I watch like Lonnie and his garage flips, and I watch Cincinnati Flipper, and I watched The Pudgy Picker and oh, okay. Well, you go get those recruiters in line, Darlene. If he's not ready to sign up at 17, tell them he's not ready to sign up at 17. My youngest signed up at 17. My oldest signed up at 23. So you need to let them know that he will let them know when he's ready. Be Mama Bear. And get some free swag from the recruiters. They always have free swag in the back room they can give out. If you ever notice, I wear a lot of Army t-shirts and stuff. That's because I always was asking for free swag when my kids were going through that. Todd's going to be on with Craigslist Hunter. Craigslist Hunter. I have not subscribed. I don't think I'm subscribed to Craigslist Hunter. I might have to check that out. But I do like watching Sandy's too, though. So maybe I can flip back and forth. Maybe I can get them both on and both going and kind of flip back and forth a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of how my youngest was. And then he ended up signing up when he was 17. When he was a junior in high school, he signed up and he went and he did his basic training in the summer between his junior and senior year, and then went back to his IT for the rest of his training after his senior year, after he graduated. So he was gaining time, plus he had to do reserve during the senior year. Once a month he had to do his weekend reserve. But I think if I had to do it all over again, I would have recommended that he wait till he was 18 to go in and then do it all at once. Because that's how my oldest son went in. I mean, he even went in older than 18, but he went into basic, stayed for his training, and then graduated from both at the same time, and that was kind of nice. Yeah. I don't it was a lot. It was a lot going on for his senior year, and I don't think he had the opportunity to enjoy all of the things that he could have enjoyed as a senior because he was involved with the military. I will have to take a peek at that. Do you know when they're going to be on, Adam? Good night, Darlene B. Hope I see you in the morning. Friday night, 8 p.m. Okay, I will try to make a point to set myself a reminder to check that out. But then I can check that out. Like I said, I can get 2 windows going and I can watch some of them and watch some of Sandy and watch some of them and watch, because I think you can, especially with Sandy's videos, and I love Sandy dearly. But you can multitask when you're watching Sandy's videos sometimes, depending on what she's making and how fast it's going and how well it's going for her. But yeah, exactly. I just wish I wasn't on a fixed income, and I wished I could afford to bid on some of that custom jewelry, because she makes some of the most beautiful jewelry pieces I have ever seen in my life. And to own something that was a Sandy original would just be like, that's on my bucket list at this point. But I'm going to have to save some money for a while and maybe babysit some grandkids this summer for a while to be able to stand a chance in one of those auctions to get a piece of Sandy original. But it will be worth it if I do. Definitely would be worth it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was. It was awesome. And I'm sure it was worth a lot more than that. But that's the problem when you're working with people like us that, we have medical bills. We have a limited income. We work as hard as we can with what we got, and um yeah, and 150 is a lot. For me, that's a ton. That's like not even all my prescriptions for the month, unfortunately, I have to admit. I have one prescription that I have to pay out of pocket because Medicare will not pay for compounded powder medication that starts out as a compounding powder. So basically, they will not cover any compounded medication, blah, 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 blah. So I have to pay that one out of pocket, and that is like $76 a month. And that's just one. And I take like 10. So then I still have the copays on the other 10 that the insurance does cover. But yeah, that bracelet was, whew, that was amazing. See, that's crazy. Do you have a Red Cross office in your area? Like that, I know that I used to volunteer for Red Cross, and the Red Cross in my area at that time had a transportation service for people who needed transportation to and from doctor's appointments and the such. Mm, yeah. You might give them a call and see if there's something available, but yeah, that's just frustrating. I totally get where you're coming from because I'm just very thankful to God that I still have my mother and my aunt who are both retired. And even though they are 76 and 70, almost 72, 76 and almost 72, that they're still able to drive and they are willing to pick me up and drive me to appointments when they can. I try to schedule stuff as much as I can as late in the day as possible because Ryan gets usually home from work at 3. So if I can get one of the last appointments of the day, I can usually slide in with Ryan after he gets home from work, and I'd prefer that, but because I don't like to be a burden on my mom and my aunt, but sometimes it's just not possible. Like I have to do a cardiology appointment that needs to be in the morning. Exactly. That's a lot of money. Hello, my destiny. Hello, hello. How are you feeling this evening, Destiny? Did you get any rest today? I just have to pay when I use my mom and my aunt for drivers to appointments, I usually end up like buying them lunch or putting gas in their car, things like that. But it's also time spent with a loved one on the ride to and from, which is kind of nice because let's face it, they're of an age that I won't have them forever. I'm grateful that I still have them now. Oh, you will be far, far, far more comfortable. When they take the staples out, they will probably give you, if you don't have one now, they'll probably give you like a elastic belly binder thing that will help to hold that in. And that helps so much. By the time they take those staples out, just that in itself is 100 times more comfortable. And then that belly binder helps to hold that in when you have that little cough or whatever. Yeah, it will be great. Yeah, I hear you, Adam. I don't mind when, if I have to pay I have to pay $45 to see my pain specialist, but when I have to pay $45 to see him and then $76.50 to fill one of the prescriptions that he prescribes out of like six, it adds up quickly every month. I only get so much a month. Okay, yes, I just dribbled water down my chin like it's the first day I ever drank water. I Thank you. Thank you, Destiny. I have to tell you that this was a suggestion from Derek, of all people, who, of course, you would think that because he's such a nice man, doesn't always like to let everybody know what a nice guy he is. And one day he said to me, people will take that Tracy Sickus, who's your Nana, they could take that the wrong way and you might attract the wrong kind of people and not the kind of people you're trying to attract. And I said, yeah, you're right, but what would I name it? And he was coming up with different things. And he actually, one of the things was just living my life. So I actually stole that right from Derek. And it does make a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense for who I am, what I want to be, what I want my YouTube channel to be, is more about just my life in general and how I live my life every day with what I deal with, and not something that's catchy that somebody's going to go, ooh, I want you to be my Nana, because I don't want that kind of creepy guys. Exactly. I didn't think about that. I didn't know. I made that up honestly before I really ever watched much YouTube. Um, and I should have. I should have watched more YouTube with just my name, and so that I could have been more wise about what I chose for a name. But at least, thank goodness, it doesn't have to be forever and you can change it. Thank goodness. I just had to wait till it was a new month or whatever it had been a month that I could change it, because I guess you can change it once a month. I mean, not that I want to do that, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you didn't go with that too. That's the same type of thing that people could take that the wrong way, and you don't want, that's not the kind of people that you want to attract. And I don't want to attract a bunch of trolls that are looking, to just be weirdos. I want real people. I want real human beings that I can talk to, that can be my friend, that I can be their friend, and we can have a real conversation. I was over on Ashley Life with Ankylosing Spondylitis earlier today, and she kept having this guy on there that kept saying, "Can we hug? Can we hug? Can we hug?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude? Really? I know she's single and all, but she has a kid, and that's not what she's about. You know, she's giving you her Facebook, whatever. Contact her in another way, not on a live chat. That's just silly." Yeah, real is what we need. Like I said to you, I don't feel, we haven't known each other a long time. And I feel the same way about Adam. I haven't known either one of you very long, but I, my heart says that I can trust that you guys are real and that you're real friends, and I care deeply for you. And what happens with you matters, and it matters to me. And I know that if something were to happen to me, it would matter to the rest of you guys too. So who was your guest tomorrow, Adam? Can you tell? Is it somebody? Night required field. Hmm. You think that's an alias? I'm thinking it's probably an alias too, but what are they about? Oh, for sure, Destiny. That's why we were so freaking out and asking each other if anybody had heard any news on you and what happened to you happened, and that was real care. All right, Adam. All right, I'll go back and check that out, but I may have to bring my notepad. I mean, last week when you had Sandy on, I actually literally took 2 pages of notes during that interview about stones and jewelry and such. That Sandy's such a wealth of knowledge. Electronics. See, I probably end up taking notes again because there are some things I always buy new because I'm afraid to buy used. So I'm afraid that what I'm going to get. And when somebody does that a lot, buys them, flips them, they know what to look for, and they usually have good advice as to what types of things you look for. So I'll be coming and bringing my notepad. But all right, you guys, I love you all very much. But it's getting 8:30, and it's time for Tracy to take her Latuda, and we never know what she's gonna say after that. So I love you both very, very, very much. And I hope to see you both tomorrow. I know I'll see you, Adam. If I don't see you in the morning, I will see you on your show. I will be there for sure. And I love you. Love you, Destiny. Much love. Please, I hope you get some rest tonight and you get your staples out tomorrow. So I'm sure you'll be feeling much better after that. And getting the staples out, if you've ever had staples, not a big deal. Way easier than a tattoo. It's just like it might be a little pinch at times if they grasp the skin, but it's an easy peasy thing. And ask for the tool. I'm not joking. It's a good crafting tool. That little staple remover is a good crafting tool. It's a good thing to pinch and hang on to things. I actually got a couple because I've had staples many times, but my sister does a lot of crafting and I've given them both to my sister. So now I'm gonna have to have staples again someday just to get another one for myself. But all right, I love you. I love you both. I hope your staple removal goes well, and I know you'll feel much better after. I love you, Adam, and good night. I will see you both tomorrow sometime.